Perfect Talk is what it do. It's your guy DJ Playboy back with another episode of the Perfect Talk podcast. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's go. Man, this past week, the Supreme Court was not playing any games. They dropped a lot of landmark decisions dealing with affirmative action, student loan forgiveness, and discrimination to the LGBTQ community. Also, your boy Travis Scott, they made a decision on what's going to happen with the Astroworld concert. The cop in the Parkland shooting, they made a decision on what they're going to do with your guy. Is he guilty or not guilty? Also, I've been noticing a lot of people been up on stage performing and have had things thrown at them. I'm talking about all types of things. Phones, bracelets, ashes. What's going on in these streets, man? It's the Perfect Talk podcast. Stay tuned. What's good, Josh? Your guy DJ Playboy back with another episode of the Perfect Talk podcast, man. And you know I'm rocking out with y'all solo dolo today, holding it down, man. Shout out to everybody rocking out on the YouTube. I'll see you. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe. Shout out to everybody listening to straight audio, whether you listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you listening to us at, you know what I mean, SoundCloud, the OG spot, you know what I mean. It's 4th of July weekend out here, big celebration vibes, big holiday vibes. But even when it's a holiday, I still like to come through and represent for y'all and hold it down, you know what I mean. But hope everybody out there's being safe, you know, be careful with the drinking and driving, y'all. That ain't the move. Not in the age of Uber, so make sure you know you move safely, because Popo will be out, you know what I mean? They got the stops. They got everything going down. What's new with your guy, DJ Playboy? Let's see. Past week or so, I've been... I'm lying. The past month, I'll say, I've been heavy on the meditation tip. Doing a lot of meditation, more really understanding the benefits of it. Shout out to Ayo She had put me on to a Deepak Chopra one that I did for 30 days straight, I believe, or 29 days straight. It was very beneficial, and I was like, I just want to keep the vibe going. So I've been trying to stay up with it. Not almost every day. Haven't been doing it every single day, but not. I want to get to that point where it is every day, and I could be just consistent with it. But I definitely see the benefits. It helps with everything from having a temper, you know, the way you react to stuff, to just being able to be mellow throughout your day, being able to calm yourself down. All of that, man. It's just good vibes. So shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to the whole meditation community. Hit me up, hop in the comments, say what up, say what up, say what up. And I've just been having a lot of thoughts lately. Like the past year of mine has been me living the manifestation of being a contrarian. Like, I've always looked at what everybody else does, and even when I was doing what everybody else was doing, I still questioned it and still was like, I don't know if this is the move, or this is the vibe, or this is going to get me where I want to get. And I think even just more so in the past couple months, I turned 39 about a month ago. Really just been on a wave of being just a contrarian, like questioning the institutions and the moves that we make as just society. I mean, I live here in America, so shout out everybody out here. But it's just like, and even in American society, as different as we are, we do have certain social norms, and it's just, you know, you really want to question it. Be like, you know what I mean? Do you go the entrepreneurial route? Do you go the traditional 9-to-5 route? You know what I mean? Institutions like marriage, like, is that necessary, or is that something that, you know what I mean, is necessary for my relationship, or is that something I'm doing just because that's what people do? That's what the masses are doing. So even in your own life, always just question the reason why you are doing the things you do, even from your addictions, your vices, your hobbies. You know what I mean? Is it still benefiting you? Is it still doing what it's doing? Or are you doing certain things because that's what's expected of you? That's what people want from you. That's what people know you as. Yeah, and so I've been dealing with a little bit of that. But beyond that, man, life's been good, man. I can't complain. Summertime, it's hot out here. It should be hot in the studio, usually is, but actually not too bad in here today, you know what I mean? So I'm going to come out here and rock for y'all on this holiday weekend, man. And right now we're going to take it to Plicca's Spotlight Story. That's when your boy takes a story that happened in the past news week and shine a spotlight on it, you know what I mean? It might not be the biggest story, but something I think needs to be seen. And I was watching the Amazon show, I believe it's called, right? Or Echo Show, I think it's called. That's, you know, my little Alexa joint that I got. And it shows news stories. And I seen, I believe she's a country singer, Kelsey Ballerini. Yeah, that's the guy. Kelsey Ballerini got hit in the face with a bracelet at her concert. It was rough to watch just because she reacts to it right away. And it's how I imagine, you know what I mean? Getting hit with anything while performing is weird. Now, the way the thing came with the stage, I'd imagine either the person was really close up, they got an arm on them, they got good aim. I could even see a scenario where maybe somebody might be on somebody's shoulders and they swing in their hands and their bracelet just come flying. maybe, you know what I mean? I'm giving y'all the benefit of the doubt here, and I'd be more prone to that. But this has kind of been an epidemic that's been happening with entertainers. Even everybody remembers Kid Cudi's infamous walk off stage when I think it was at Rolling Loud. He wasn't with the shits. He was like, somebody throws another thing on stage, it's a rap, and somebody threw another thing on stage. He had to be a man of his word and dip. So we seen recently though, BB Rexa got hit in the face with a cell phone and had to get stitches. You know what I mean? Shout out to BB Rexa. You know what I mean? Fan of hers. I hate to see her in that position, like, you know what I mean, just getting cracked in the face. It's rough because you at such a vulnerable place, you know what I mean. Pink, I think, was performing, and somebody threw ashes from their mother onto the stage, where it's just a WTF moment. Like, what do I do with the? Should I be honored? Should you be honoring your mom a little bit more? Like,
this is your mom. I don't know how to feel about this.
do I even want to be touching this? Like, what's up, yo? And I think it just goes out here to say, everybody from comedians, musicians, performers, dancers, you getting on a stage, it's enough anxiety. So now you got to be worried about people throwing stuff at you. Like, respect the fourth wall, right? Respect that barrier between the audience and the performer. I think what Will Smith did was so controversial and such a shock, right? That, you know, it set shockwaves through the media, because there is a respect that you have when someone's on stage, that they are able to make fun of the audience and you're not gonna violate that invisible wall. You know what I mean? When Dave Chappelle got tackled, you know what I mean, the same thing happened. It's like, what are you doing? Like, you're attacking somebody that's on stage. I think it's super corny. You know what I mean? As a DJ, I've been in positions where, you know, I'm the center of attention, or I'm the main event, and you got so much other stuff to concentrate on, especially when you're trying to entertain people, that you got to be worried about ducking and dodging. You know what I mean? Even people make it complimentary. Remember back in the days, and like, yo, you were like an R&B singer, or you were like a heartthrob or some sort. Ladies throw their panties on stage. Like, even that's a little wild. Like, that's, come on, man. You don't know what people got out here. Like, you gotta be ducking and dodging panties. Like, that shit is crazy. So respect the game, respect that wall. You know what I mean? Don't violate the artist when they on the stage. You know what I mean? Don't be throwing stuff on there, because it's super corny, and then it ends the show for everybody. You know what I mean? Especially people paying tons of money. Y'all know what them ticket prices. I know y'all seen the news. You know what I mean? Ticketmaster and all that. Be Live Nation. They be running it up. So you paying all that money, and then the show gets stopped short because somebody want to be an asshole? Not with it. But let's get to the top stories of this week in my favorite segment called Had You Heard? I got a couple of headlines for you, and I'm bringing them to the table just to see what you heard, man. The Supreme Court, they was on one this week, man. They was not playing no games. Dropped a couple landmark decisions, you know what I mean, to set the summer off, man. And the first one that caught my attention dealt with the LGBTQ community, you know what I mean. It's crazy how y'all gonna get at the LGBTQ community on the last day of Pride Month, you know what I mean? Like, how y'all gonna do them like that? But the Supreme Court decided in the favor of a Christian web designer out in Colorado who refused to create websites for same-sex weddings due to their own religious objections. And the Supreme Court backed them up. This will have far-reaching impact of people wanting to decide, like for instance, like, I'm in an interracial relationship. If someone says that their views don't agree with interracial relationship, can they deny me and my girl? You know what I'm saying? Or like you see what happened with the LGBTQ community, or you see what happened if maybe you might be the only black customer walking into the store. They don't deal with it a lot, you know what I mean? They might not agree with whatever it is. But this was a 6-3 opinion that was delivered on Friday by Justice Neil Gersh, that joined the court's 5 other conservatives. The justice said the First Amendment's free speech protection permitted the web designer Lori Smith to refuse to extend her services for same-sex weddings. Big time, man. Big time. They said it was rooted in free speech grounds and create a massive hole in state public accommodation laws for businesses who sell so-called expressive goods, allowing for companies to provide customized, expressive products and services to pick and choose who they work with. You know what I mean? Shout out to CNN for that story right there. But yeah, it's just one of many, you know what I'm saying, things that this changed the state of this country. And I won't say it hasn't gotten a lot of media attention, because it actually has, but I think the impact that it can have even deserves one, because that's huge in the state of the discrimination, right? But also, Supreme Court went after affirmative action, said that universities, colleges no longer have to adhere to affirmative action admission policies. Supreme Court sent shockwaves through higher education with the landmark decision that struck down affirmative action. Colleges, universities, they don't know what they're going to do next. They scrambling for ways to how can we still, keep it diverse with but also, also get the best in and follow what the Supreme Court just ruled. I think this is rooted, if I'm not mistaken, in maybe a lot of people in the Asian American community feeling like they weren't admitted to schools such as Harvard and Yale, I think Harvard specifically, due to what might be affirmative action. Now, they might, for an instance, if you have a student that has better grades than a minority of a certain race, being told that they can't get in because they need to have in a certain amount of people from this particular race, I can see how that can be unfair. Affirmative action was one of those things that took a bad situation and made an overcorrection, right? Like, because of the discrimination, we had to go so far in the other direction that, now we're being unfair to maybe another group of people. You can see that in a lot of institutions in this country. I feel like the child support system in this country might be skewed particularly towards females than they are to males. And even just the family court system, because of the wrongs that were done, because how women were discriminated against, because how women were left in financial ruin, if their husband decided he wanted to up and leave, that they had to make such an extreme overcorrection, not only to punish people who've done it, but also deter people from doing it again. And same thing you saw with this affirmative action. People of black backgrounds, Hispanic backgrounds, indigenous people, they were let in because of the wrongs that were done to their communities. And that might come to an end, or has come to an end, according to the Supreme Court. Now, individual universities can choose to do this, but you figure something like an Ivy League school like that had such small numbers of black, Hispanic, probably indigenous population, to know that those numbers are going to go down, and it's going to look a little bit more like a monolith than it has, and less of a diverse representation of our country. It's going to have some far-reaching effects, and we're going to really see, exactly how this is going to go. Also want to know how it's going to affect the schools that depend heavily on sports. You know what I mean? Like, are they going to let less black people in? Are they only focusing on the black athletes? Because I feel like the black athletes might have a voice in this, where you're getting us into play for y'all, and you getting us to represent for your school, make millions of dollars for your school. We're going to need certain promises that you letting certain people that look like us in here as well. This is when their voice should be heard. This is when they can use their power. At least try, at least make some noise about it, and show that it's an important thing to you, because Clarence Thomas, the lead on this Supreme Court decision, has the education he has because of affirmative action. He has most of the benefits he's gotten in life was probably due to affirmative action. So for him to want to close the door behind him is sucker shit at his finest. Excuse my language, but it's you know what I mean, and that's what he's representing right now. Sucker shit, like, that's corny. You know what I mean? Now I know there's an argument, like I said, for both sides, but for it to come from him, I think it is an extra slap in the face. So we got an eye on you, Clarence. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Anita Hill. You know what I'm saying? I remember back in the day how that went down. Now they bringing up your financial records. You know what I mean? You keep pissing off the wrong people, they gonna keep digging and digging and digging until they find some dirt. Because this has to offend some people that may have even opened doors, for Clarence Thomas. Ketanji Brown, the other black judge on the Supreme Court, basically found a way more intelligent, legalistic way to say, you want some bullshit too, bro. You want some sucker shit right now, because we both here because of the, that those doors being open for us. And we would have been here sooner if this country was built on equality and justice. So to use that, we're not using race-based facts and admission when this country was built on race-based discrimination. It's like I said, sucker shit at its finest. But in the third decision that they made, they decided that Biden's student loan forgiveness on June 30th, 2023, the Supreme Court of the United States blocked Biden's student loan plan They made decisions on Friday, the final day of its current term. The court blocked Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness program. Biden responded by slamming the decision to reject his plan to deliver up to $20,000 in debt relief, vowing that he's going to continue his fight. He also spoke on the affirmative action thing and asked for educational institutions to still look for ways to diversify their student base, and not be a monolith of one race, or just have less diversity within their student population. Yeah, Supreme Court went for the trifecta, man. They came for the alphabet gang, the LGBTQ. They came for the student loan forgiveness from your boy Joe Biden, and they chopped it down that affirmative action. So they was Steph Curry from the line, you know what I mean? They went for the big three. So we're going to see where that ends. And, we keep an eye on everything. And this is actually coming like shortly after a year from their big Roe v. Wade decision. So, in a little bit over a year, the Supreme Court might have changed the way that our entire country looks. Have you heard? P. Diddy, his drink, so to speak, Ciroc, their parent company. He also has another drink called DeLeon. I think that one's a tequila. The parent company was named Diageo, and they decided that they're going to end their relationship with Sean Diddy Combs, accusing him of refusing to honor his commitments. Diddy has filed a lawsuit against Diageo. I hope I'm pronouncing. Yeah, I think I'm pronouncing it right. Diageo. And said that they discriminated against his vodka and tequila brands because he's black. In response to this, they decided that they were going to drop him due to the fact that he was using threats to get his own way, and acting in bad faith, according to Diageo. Now, what I like what Diddy's lawyer said is like, this is like firing a whistleblower, because Diddy's whole thing was, we're not getting the respect as a black brand for Ciroc and DeLeon that a George Clooney would get for his brand. Now, I don't know the sales. I don't know what DeLeon and Ciroc bring in compared to Casamigos, but Diddy was led to believe that, other celebrities that weren't black were getting better treatment. Full disclosure, I'm not even a huge fan of rappers promoting alcohol brands. Not gonna lie. Now, I will admit that they were pioneers in the game. I don't know if The Rock, I don't know if Kendall Jenner, I don't even know if George Clooney would be owning liquors now if Jay-Z didn't make it popular, if P. Diddy didn't make it popular back when they came out. So it became a way that, entertainers could make money. Now, does that mean that actors and, singers and people of all backgrounds weren't making money off of alcohol companies in the past and it just wasn't public? Absolutely. But I think to be a public face of a company was, in my day, Puff Daddy was one of the first people I saw doing it. And I got to give Jay-Z props to that on that too, that really have rode with it and stuck with their liquor brands up until now. With that being said, as much as I don't like rappers with the influence that they have promoting alcohol brands, because now it seems like we're pushing a vice onto our own people, I think it makes sense for Nas to get paid from Hennessy. If he's going to be saying it anyway in his lyrics, Nas might as well be getting a piece of that. You know what I'm saying? He might as well be the spokesperson and get a little check from that, because he was doing it for free, pretty much. And probably helping them, despite them knowing it, push their sales. But what I've seen with Diddy, and something that I saw when Jay-Z tried to do work with Cristal in the past, is you see how they feel about you, right? You see they look down on you as the lesser, despite what you bring to the table. Like, would I know about Ciroc if it wasn't for P. Diddy? Would I care about Ciroc if it wasn't for P. Diddy? I don't know. I'm not going to say I won't, because there's thousands of alcohol brands out there that don't have a spokesperson that probably do very well in terms of sales. But I'm also not going to ignore Diddy's effect on the culture and what his brand. Have I bought Ciroc, drank Ciroc sometimes, and if only 5%, 10% felt cooler? Absolutely. It's anything you hear in a rap song or something like that is going to make you feel good, you know what I mean, to do it. But why did he decide to go this route? Maybe he didn't feel like his voice was being heard. Maybe he felt like he made several complaints and he wasn't seeing anything. So he's like, well, if I'm the mouthpiece of the brand, I'm obviously a mouthpiece. I obviously have I obviously have a platform that I could push things, my opinions, and I'm gonna let people know how I feel about it. And if you don't want that, you know what I mean, adhere to my demands. And they decided you could hit the door. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it comes down to. I think either move on to new businesses, right? Move on to more positive things for our society, or figure out the route on how to, manufacture your own alcohol, so you don't gotta go through these parent companies that look down at you as the lesser. You know what I mean? Because you like I said, you see how they feel about you. Now there's a whole house sway conversation to be had by that, because I guess if it was that easy to manufacture alcohol, everyone would be doing it. But also doesn't mean it's impossible. Have you heard? Travis Scott will not be indicted for his actions in the Astroworld Festival, where 10 people were left dead and hundreds were left injured during a crowd surge. Grand jury decided not to indict Scott, as well as other people connected to the festival, including the chief of security, John Junell, festival director, Brett Silberstein. In this instance, then the grand jury found that no one person, no single individual was criminally responsible. They found that no one crime did occur. Which it's sad, because there are victims, and Travis Scott probably is still gonna have to deal with lawsuits. That's not what this is saying at all. But he won't be indicted on any criminal activity, which makes sense, because this isn't the first time people have gotten crushed in a crowd. This isn't the first time people have gotten injured during a concert, and I don't remember too many of them other times people doing prison time, people serving, people even having to pay fines due to that, because that's what insurance and things of that nature are supposed to cover. So, Tyler, the creator, I think, started like a riot at one of these concerts or something, they said, and they backed it up to him. But even that, I don't think was connected to any type of prison time. And that's the closest I could think of if something ever happened like that. So it is tragic for the 10 people that passed away. And just for the people that, I think we forget the people that are injured. Like, injuries suck, you know what I'm saying? To be stuck with something where you still limping or walking slower or moving slower, due to something that happened, is my thoughts and prayers are with you 100%. So definitely, get your bag and figure that out. But we just got to do better. Festivals have to provide more security, and I think festivals do a great job. So I'm not going to shine a light on festivals. Travis Scott, needs to make sure that anything that he's connected with is going above and beyond in terms of security. Just so your name's not connected with this ever again. Why get tied up with this? You know what I mean? Have you heard? If you guys remember the Parkland school shooting, there was a cop, a school resource officer, is I think the exact title, that decided to stay outside during the mass shooting. He's actually been found not guilty. Looks like he was acquitted on all counts of 7. It says 7 counts of felony child neglect, 3 counts of culpable negligence, and 1 count of perjury. This gentleman, he stayed outside during the February 2018 massacre at the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. It's weird. Everyone can say what they would do, what they should do, what he should have done, this, that, and the third. But you got a pistol, which I don't even know if he had. But let's say he did. Let's assume he had a handgun. He about to go to war with a person that got an AK-47, AR-15, whatever automatic weapon they was using to do that massacre. I can't say that I would have done different until I'm in that situation. I really can't. You saw actual police officers in the Uvalde shooting take their time, and somebody else had to go in there and save the day. And by that point, people were already dead. So, to try to put him in the same level of blame as the shooter, I think is a little unfair. Now, also, I might feel differently if my kid was one of the victims of this. As a school resource officer, though, they're not hiring you to stop school shootings. They hiring you to stop fights. They hiring you to, make people write their name down before they visit the school. You know what I mean? You're not equipped for mass shooting. You probably didn't even practice that. You know what I mean? And this is in 2018 where school shootings happened. I still doubt that there was probably much practice. Maybe once a year, a drill. But that's not him going into actual armed combat with somebody with the automatic weapon. So I definitely felt like he had to go through a lot. You're never gonna get me to put him on the same level of blame as a shooter. I think the real culprit in this is our society's love affair with guns, and why from Columbine, you know what I mean, from Sandy Hook, seeing stuff like that should have caused a 180 in our gun control laws in this country. But we see it hasn't, you know what I mean? Things might have even gotten lax since some of those tragedies. So it's, yeah, it is what it is, man. Our country's in a weird place, people, you know what I'm saying? And it's time for us to really shine the mirror on ourselves and really figure out, you know, what we're doing as we about to celebrate our country's birthday. You know what I mean? Really decide what you want this nation to be moving forward, because elections are coming up. You know what I mean? You see how a Supreme Court with a majority towards one party as opposed to another could shake up society. You know what I mean? Abortion, affirmative action, you know what I mean, student loan forgiveness, discrimination to the LGBTQ community. You know what I mean? Like, as quick as things could change, they could change right back. And who knows how long that's going to last for. So keep your head up and your eyes open. You know what I mean? That's another episode in the books, my people. I go by the name DJ Playboy. You can find me on Twitter at DJ Playboy. Also, you can find me on Instagram at Pliccapeezy. PLICCAPEEZY. Holla at your boy. Also follow Perfect Talk on Instagram at Perfect Talk Radio. You know how we holding it down on there. You could follow us on the website. Keep up with everything DJ Playboy on www.perfecttalkpodcast.com. There you find every episode of my radio show, The Night Shift, the radio show I did with my brother DJ Show, Money Talks Radio, motivational moments, new releases that drop every week, and of course every episode of the Perfect Talk Podcast can be found there on www.perfecttalkpodcast.com, as well as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, the big boy Spotify. You know, we up on there, all of that. So go ahead, check us out. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Also, you know where you can check us out, man. YouTube. Shout out to everybody watching your boy on the camera, doing the damn thing. You can support, you know, leave a comment, you know, subscribe to notifications and all that whenever we drop. And you know, hit a like on there, throw a comment in there, you know what I mean? Show some love. The algorithm loves that. Let's see. What have I been up to lately? I took a little break this week from the audio books because I had finished one that I was reading a while ago about parenting. That's what I'm realizing. I got to read a lot of books about parenting because it just keeps you in a better state of mind on how to resolve situations. But I think I'm going to start another one soon. I just had to take a little palate cleanse this past week. I got back into my podcast and just listening to those again. Watching, my girl put some wild show on. I think I might have spoke about it on here before. I don't even know. But MILF Manor. I heard about it, and it's nuts, but it's actually beneficial sometimes to have just silly television. I think that you don't have to put much thought into, and we kind of hate watch it where we just make fun of it the entire time while we're watching it. But give me something to do. You know what I mean? I'm not suggesting it. I'm not telling nobody out there to go and watch it, but that's just what I've been on this past week. And you know how we holding it down over here, man, at Perfect Talk Podcast. It's your guy, DJ Playboy. I'm up out of here. I'm going to get into this 4th of July weekend. Y'all go do the same. Please stay safe. Don't drink and drive. My prayers are with y'all. Everybody have a great time. Let's have a safe holiday weekend. And let's get this second half of the year on and popping. Spread love. It is the Brooklyn way. What did we learn on today's episode, man? Do not throw things on the stage while artists are performing, because that is corny. Do not, when you are the person on the stage, show some love to the people in the crowd. You know what I mean? Travis Scott dodged a bullet that could have went left for your boy. Speaking of dodging a bullet, you know, don't pass judgment on the Parkland cop. You know what I mean? Until you done what he did and you was in his shoes to decide if you gonna hop in a school shooting or not, don't pass judgment on your man. But he beat that case, and keep up with what's going on. And just, I mean, politics will get real whack. It's about to get corny because it's election season, so it's about to be a lot of corny mudslinging and nonsense. But keep up with what's going on, because if you do not keep your eyes open, you might wake up one day and find yourself in a whole new world that the Supreme Court decided we going back to that. So keep your head up and your eyes open, like I said. And we up out of here, man. Spread love is the Brooklyn way. It's your guy, DJ Playboy. Peace.